Hey guys, it's Paolo. So guess who's in our studio? Linda Gray. And she has a new book out called The Road to Happiness is Always Under Construction. Now my mom and I would watch her every Friday night on Dallas, so I can't believe I'm going to talk to Sue Ellen Ewing. I'm so excited.
His life was changed and made new when an angel made his dream come true, and now he brings his dream to you. In a Spoonful Power.
Let's start the show. Are you ready, Linda?
I am so ready and excited to be here. I really am.
Thank you. I can't even tell you. You know, I was just telling Patrick, it's so crazy because I would watch you in my mom and dad's living room with my mother. And how crazy, here you are basically in our living room.
I'm in your living room now.
Years later. I just want to say thank you for being on A Spoonful of Paolo.
Please, it's my pleasure. It really is. I saw so many of the interviews online and I loved it. I loved your energy.
Oh, thank you.
And you're really connected and you really care about people. And that's why I'm here. I'm very happy to be here.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
You know, your book was sent to me a couple days ago, and I have to tell you, I read it in one day. I was outside at the pool all day. That's why I got a little tan. And Patrick kept coming out, will you come inside? Will you come inside? I'm like, I'm almost done. I'm almost done. Your book, I mean, I love you so much, but your stories in here are just amazing.
Well, it pleases me and thrills me that you actually took the time to
and I got some notes in here too. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh, do you?
What does it feel for you to have your memoir, to have it done and to have it out there for people to read? What does that feel like for you?
Well, it's an interesting phenomenon because it was never something I planned on. It wasn't like, in 5 years I'm going to write a book. It was presented to me and I chewed on it a little bit and decided, why not? If not now, when?
I'm glad you did it now.
It was like, okay, let's do it. And, so since you've read it and it's brand new, I'm eager to hear what people have to say about it. And I'd love people to get the response that you did.
Oh, has it changed, like writing this book this past year, has it changed you in any way? Because you have to go back and like remember stories. Like, does that change you in any way, you think?
It hasn't changed me, but I think it's because I wrote it at this age and stage in my life that I have a whole different perspective about how it was, the speed bumps I talk about in the book and the always under construction. That's what all of our lives are all about. We all have speed bumps. We all are under construction and it's not going to end until we decide it's over.
But it's true because you have many speed bumps, many stories in here, about the struggles and stuff, even before you landed the role of Sue Ellen,
Oh, yeah.
But that story from Glamour magazine, I just think it's freaking amazing that you kept this letter.
I did.
For over 50 years now.
55
Explain
years,
to the audience where this letter came from and what happened.
Okay, it was in 1960, and there was a contest submitted by Glamour magazine. You were supposed to send in your picture or whatever. And I got basically a rejection letter. And it said something about if you change you can read it.
Oh, can we?
You can read it.
I have a bookmark. Do you want to read it actually?
I will read it.
Can you please start from where they said your name? Listen to this.
Okay.
Just listen to this.
Dear Miss Gray, I regret to say you are not the exact type of girl we are looking for. We don't want you to get discouraged at this point. However, if you changed your makeup a little and tried some experimenting with your hairstyles, you too might very well shape into something. Sincerely, Carl's Daily Beauty Editor of Glamour magazine. Now, we just found out she's alive.
I Googled her yesterday to see what she looks like.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, Google her to see what she looks like. So she is alive then.
She's alive. She's 90. Okay. And so we asked her if we could, use the letter. And we had to do that for the book to do it properly. And she said, I would never have written a letter like that. I'm sure my assistant did. We're like, so we give her a benefit of the doubt.
I just love it how you kept this letter
because it's on my desk.
Yeah, to remind you to not give up, and you have done that.
Well, at first it was humbling, and I was mad at her. I thought, how dare she, blah blah blah. But then the little feisty part of me said, I'm going to show you. It's daily. I'm going to show you. You can't tell me. So anyway, I went about this, and now I look back with great joy and with a lot of humor and say, why was I so upset about this? You know, but it did at that time in 19, you know, I was 19 something, that I just propelled myself and said, okay, I don't know whether it was Ms. Daly that propelled me or whatever. It didn't matter. But now I look at it with great joy and I always smile.
And you were so open when you talked about your husband at the time, Ed, how he wasn't supportive of your career or of you even taking acting classes. And even I remember when you were nominated for an Emmy back in '81, I believe. You know, he wasn't that ideal husband to say, congratulations, you look beautiful. It's just you have to read to find out what happened exactly, okay?
Yes.
But was there a part of you that ever wanted to give up on your dream just to make him happy? Because I only ask you this because I know there's a lot of people out there who struggle and they do that, but you didn't.
I didn't, and it wasn't easy. That was one of the speed bumps in my life. You know, that's why we're always under construction. And I had, Ed was fabulous, and he was an art director at Warner Brothers Records. And his dream was to live on a ranch, have horses and animals, and have that kind of life. And so all of us moved out to the ranch. We built the house, which I love, and you know, we had the horses and the chickens and the dogs and the cats, and we had a goat, and I don't know what else. We had all of them, all those little things. And then when I decided that what I wanted to do for my dream, it was squashed. And I thought, wait a minute, we're living his dream. But what about my dream? And it was a struggle for a woman because I was a mother and I had 2 children. And I didn't want to break up the family, but I also wanted to pursue my dream. And I saw that my mother didn't. And I think that was her huge frustration in life, was that she gave up her dream. Because at that time, in the 40s, that's what women were to do. They were to stay home with the children. So I don't know. I didn't know, but I had my mother's life over here. I had my dream over here. And I was living his dream kind of in the middle. And I thought, I don't want to ruin anybody's life, but I also want to pursue my dream.
And live your life.
What is my dream? I want to live my life. So that's what happened, and you've got to read it.
I'm so proud that you did that and made that choice. Because, I mean, you wouldn't even be here sitting with me talking about your whole life and stuff. So, great choice that you made.
Bless you,
and
thank you.
You spoke about your mom, too. And, you know, obviously we know Sue Ellen, the character in Dallas, was an alcoholic. And you were very open about your mother, too, as an alcoholic. Did that, how did you approach the role of Sue Ellen? Did that help you approach the character of Sue Ellen? Did it, in any way? How was that?
Well, it's very odd to say, you know, it's very challenging for me because Mom and Sue Ellen were nothing alike. So, you know, and when I got the role of Sue Ellen, I thought, wow, all the light bulbs went on. I thought, oh man, this is going to be a tricky one here to play this one. But in the end, I thought, this is going to be a healing. This is going to be a healing for Mom and I. And we weren't, you know, best of friends. So I knew, and I presented her with the first 5 scripts. And she went home and read them, and she said, well, this is going to be hard for you. And I thought, and it's going to be hard for you to see this.
Oh, that was one of my favorite parts in the book. And what you wrote was so beautiful. And this is what Linda says. You said, it was the first time anyone in our family had spoken that word to her face. She stared at me and then looked down at her hands. I expected her to deny it, but she seemed resigned, like she knew the jig was up. Mom might have been waiting for 30 years for someone to say, you're an alcoholic. Until that moment, we never had. Wow.
Correct. Yeah. And I think that with the program now and all the help that everybody's getting, back then it wasn't so prevalent. You were kind of like nobody talked about it.
You just pretend like you don't see it happening.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why I felt that I was in that, I call it the bridge generation, where, you know, we were kind of like, whoa, you know, nobody's saying anything, but I'm going to say a little bit right here and right now.
But so you know, she was so grateful that, I mean, can you imagine if you didn't, that you're the first one to even say that word to her and how that changed everything then, and that you got her blessing as well to play this character in Dallas.
Oh, and they were glued. Wow. And my dad would call every Friday night and say, I hated that lighting about you. And what did I? It was the cutest thing in the world, you know, because then the family got together. And it's the first time I had heard in my life, I love you.
Oh.
it was heartbreaking. So I thought, okay, all right, kid, hang in, you're doing all right, right? You told your mom she was an alcoholic. Yeah, you heard the words, I love you, and you said, it was like, okay, I'm going to make it, and I'm following my dream.
Wow.
So put those all together.
And that's it, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
great.
you've embraced this character, Sue Ellen Ewing, for the past over 35 years, and it's hard. Sometimes you don't see actors who, they want to forget what they did, 30 years ago, but you have embraced her, and that's why I think your fans love you so much. But what is the thing that you love most about Sue Ellen, would you say? Like, what is it?
Well, yeah, I think she was the most interesting female character on television in the 80s. And then when I was given a gift to play her again 20 years later, I thought, okay, we're not done with Sue Ellen. Because I felt that there was still a little part of that character that needed, maybe not completion, but people needed to see her again, and needed to see her growth, and needed to see her fall down, and after JR passed, and needed to see her kick up again. So it was kind of a lovely internal reminder that we all are fragile. We all have problems. We all have the road to happiness is under construction. So we all have that. So I think people related to her because they could relate. Not that they were alcoholics, not that they were any of those things that Sue Ellen was, but she was very vulnerable and very real.
She was so real. It's so true. My mom, when I said that you were coming, they're coming back, they're in Europe Italy, visiting her family. And she goes, you make sure you tell her that I learned my English from watching her. So I'm like,
dear.
That's why she would say a lot of my mom would say that B word. So I was like, don't say that word. She goes, but Sue Ellen's going to say that. No.
Yes, Sue Ellen would say that.
But she learned, my mom learned English from watching you on Dallas.
Did she?
Yeah, because they came a couple years before. And then just to see you in the cast, I'm like,
I've never heard that.
English 101 from Dallas from Linda Gray. How amazing is that? She speaks it pretty good with a heavy accent. But what I love about you is that people don't know about this, but really when you read your book, you're going to see what a fighter you are, because I think it was in season 9 of Dallas, how you fought to direct an episode of Dallas. And you were so smart about this because like a year before, you studied it. You were directing other things because you wanted to be prepared by the time you would go to the executive producer of Dallas.
Correct.
So what happened? You go to the executive producer, you're ready, and he tells you what?
No. Nope. It was a big no. And, if you remember, I'm sure you do, that Dallas was a very male show, very chauvinistic, very sexist. It was all about the men. And the women were just kind of out there flailing around.
Patrick Duffy was directing at the time, and the beloved.
And so was Larry.
Yes, exactly, yes.
So it wasn't like, oh, I want to do it. I'm one of the stars, too. I'm going to do it. It wasn't that at all. I really wanted to direct because Sue Ellen was boring me, and they weren't getting my message at all. And I'd always wanted to direct. I just had that sense, and I thought the energy was huge on Dallas, and I thought, okay, the energy, it's all about being engaged. And Sue Ellen was drinking, having affairs, and blah blah blah. I said, I'm bored, and the audience always tells when an actor is bored. You can always tell, especially when they're coming into your home week after week. It's like something's off here.
Yes.
So I thought, okay, I'm going to go approach it. And I did. I was told no. And they said one of the reasons was that they thought every other woman in the show would want to direct it. So I went to them and I said, Barbara, Victoria, Charlene, do you want to direct? They went, hell no. So anyway.
Like, you're on your own, girl.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I'm going to fight for this. So I did. And then they said, okay, well, you're bye. In other words, I was fired.
Fired, exactly.
So I called Larry and I said, well, I've been let go because I want to direct. And they said no. And he was like, well, put on his white Stetson. And Mr. Hero walked in and he did. He says, well, if she goes, I go. Well, we know Mr. Hagman would never have left the show.
But he put a little...
But it sounded good.
Yeah, it sounded so good, even reading it.
I said, oh, Larry, that's so bad. It was like, okay, it was Larry.
That is amazing. And then I think, didn't you direct more than one episode then? Because that was one you fought, but I think you directed like 4 or 5 episodes then.
I did.
That's amazing. You have so many great stories about Larry in your book.
Aren't they fun? Aren't those great stories?
So many great stories. But I want to know from you, what is like the best lesson that you've learned from him?
To enjoy every single moment of life, to have fun, and he says, don't worry, be happy, feel good.
Yeah.
That's what I think we're missing. I'm seeing people that nobody's having a lot of fun. Maybe you.
We try. It's because my man over there. It's because my man over there. It's because of my husband. But thank you for saying that.
No, but I think a lot of people, they get so involved in God knows what,
Yeah.
but they don't
Take time and stop.
time and
Yes.
have fun.
Yes.
I mean, have an ice cream cone. I don't care. Do something that makes
Yeah.
you laugh or giggle or have cookies
Yes.
made by you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You
Thank
know, I mean, but it's not about eating. It's about enjoying your life
Yeah.
and having fun.
Well, you give really good tips. You give so many good examples in this book and so many tips on how to eat and your success stories. I love it. You know what? You want to know what my favorite story was in this book?
Yes.
I'll tell you. And I came and I ran in. I kind of had like the chills, and I was like, he's like, get away, go back outside. I'm like, I have to tell you one more story.
Force him to read the book.
I'll tell you when it was. Is when you went to this Catholic school, and you would go across the street with your autograph book, and you would wait there for the celebrities to come out so they would sign it. And I pictured you as this little girl, you know. But then the most amazing thing is years later. Explain. Say.
That was a huge, huge moment for me because we would sit on the curb in our Catholic
And you would
uniforms.
wait, I know.
And you know,
So you would go to MGM Studios across the street, just wait for the celebrities
with
to come
the
out.
big lion up
Yeah.
there, and I would wait for them to drive by, and you know, Van Johnson and Stuart Granger and Carmen Miranda came one day, and these
So
beautiful
crazy.
cars, and it was, you know, this beautiful car. They were just beautiful people, and so then when Dallas was actually a reality, we filmed the first 5 shows in Texas, and then when we came back, we were supposed to film in Burbank, and they said, oh no, we're not filming in Burbank, we're filming at the MGM lot. So my first day, I remember clearly driving in, and I had to stop and pull over, and I looked up at the lion. I'm gonna cry now. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm driving into this studio as an actor. And I used to sit on this curb getting autographs. It was a big moment for me.
Talk about inspiration. That's why I love that story, because as you write, I felt it, and I could just picture what a full circle moment that was for you. You know?
It was huge.
Wow.
It was huge because I mean, I could visualize myself sitting on that curb and then looking at that line.
What do you think that little girl was sitting on the curb? If she read your book, what do you think she would say to you?
She'd say, "Go, girl! I love this book." And why didn't you write it sooner?
Wow.
Yeah, it was really sweet.
I mean, you know, I said, Patrick, we got to do something because, you know, your birthday's here, and you're celebrating a beautiful 75 years, and you look amazing. Now I know why People Magazine a few years ago had put like sexiest legs, because the minute you came out, I'm like, oh my God, she is just as beautiful, even more beautiful than on the pictures, and you really are. So I'm like, where do we get Linda to celebrate her book? And her birthday, so this is what we decided for you to take home and enjoy with your family. This is for you.
What?
There you
What
go.
in the? What is this?
We have
oh my gosh!
For you.
I have to have a picture of this.
You
Jeffrey,
will
did
get
you see this?
You will get a picture of
Come
this.
here.
Is
This is Jeffrey Lane.
Please, yes, of course, of course.
I dedicated
Yes,
this whole book
the
to
book.
him.
Yes, yes.
Look at that!
Yes.
Is this amazing?
It's a strawberry shortcake inside.
Oh,
Okay,
I love it so much. This is so beautiful.
It is for you because you have inspired so many people, and I mean this, to not give up. And if there are obstacles in your life, and you are the best example, you just don't give up. A no is a no, but you keep going. And I learned from you. I learned from the best. So just thank you.
Wow. Oh, thank you. I don't know what to say. I really don't. This is such a kind, beautiful, generous, heartfelt gift. Can't do better than that. I hope it's homemade.
Sue Ellen likes me. Sue Ellen likes me. Did you hear that?
I love you.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you so much for being on our show.
Oh, thank you, and thank you, Patrick,
Thank you.
thank you for this beautiful cake.
You are so
and what
welcome.
a beautiful interview.
Yay, you're so welcome.
You really got to
you're
me.
Thank you, Linda. So I just want to say for everyone out there, wherever books are sold, please, you need to get the book. The Road to Happiness is always under construction. I'm telling you, you can read it in one day. One day you can read it. It's just, her story is amazing. Really. Thank you.
Thank you.
so
oh
much.
my gosh. What a
Yay. Bye, everyone. We'll see you next time at Spoonful of Paolo. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Linda. Thank you so much.
How special.
Dream big.
Spoonful of Paolo.
I love you, Oprah. Bye, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Thank you.